Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here. Hey guys, this is Brittany, and we are so glad to have you here on the Strong and Steady podcast. And I am so excited to have our good friend Alfred on, and he is with Heart Song. Is that correct?
Prayersong.com.
Prayer Song. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have a 1-year-old. She hasn't been sleeping, so neither have I. So my brain is not connecting.
It's okay. That's okay.
But we are so excited to have you on. So Alfred, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into Prayer Song?
Sure. So I am a public relations media kind of person and work in communications and media outreach and all that. And got connected to this company called prayersong.com because I work with a lot of people that probably they want me to be connected to. Prayersong.com is basically a modern Hallmark. It's a gift. It's something the way I look at it, it's something you give somebody from your heart that has a message, but instead of you having to choose through rows and rows of different messages, you give one message. You put a message into a song. You can include the parts of worship and faith that mean the most to you. You can include it in there. What you do is you go online, you fill out a but the set of questions. It's not really a form, but it's a series of questions that allow the songwriters and the people that put together the song, the producers, it gives them the background, the basis for them to put this song together. So many people have made these songs, and they're used predominantly, it feels like, by spouses, used to surprise other spouses on anniversaries and birthdays after that spouse starts to feel like the other spouse forgot. There's a lot of videos that are out there of a very disgruntled spouse sitting in their car or at a table, and then all of a sudden the song comes on and the song has their name in it. And they pay attention, and then it talks about their kids and how they met and the dog. And then all of a sudden, all the emotion that comes from the anticipation of finding out this song is about them, and you see it, just the tears and the emotion. And that's what Prayer Song is. It's basically giving someone love and emotion through a prayer, through a song, through however you want it to be for someone. So my background is definitely, as a person, is definitely tied to music. My mother was a classically trained vocalist. She sang opera. I got dragged to operas as a kid. I can't go to an opera anymore because as soon as the overture hits and the lights go down, I fall asleep. I can see a musical. Musicals are fine, but if it's an opera and all of a sudden there's this long overture, I drift. It's terrible. But my mother, and this is sort of kind of really how it hooks. My mother was in my church choir, and as a teenager, you generally, at least I did, you like to sleep later on Sundays, and if possible, not have to get up at all. So, that did not sit well with my mother, who was in the choir. So around 7 a.m. before she had to be at the 8 o'clock service, she would warm up her vocal scales loud and woke me up. So my tie to my faith, my love for God, and my love for my mother came from music. It really does. And even though I can't sing like my mother, I have still tried to ingratiate into my daughter through, as a parent, my love for music, different types of music, and just a broad appreciation, because other than so many gifts that I got from my mother, an appreciation for all types of music, whether it's classical, country, jazz, blues, rock, hip hop, whatever. I find ways to appreciate all music, and that came from my mother. And so my love for music, I feel like, really brought me to this project. And so now I go around and I like to talk with y'all and other people, just kind of what a prayer song does. But at the same time, it's to get out my own egotistical story about how important my mother was and what she meant to me. And since you guys are both moms, you're if you don't know it by now, you will know eventually how important your relationships are with your kids, and just the little things that you do as they grow, they stick. They really do. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. I was listening to another podcast a couple days ago, and it was really cool because it was the mom interviewing her son about kind of growing up, and for that one specifically, it was about the business, but just hearing what he had to say about her, it was so sweet to hear. And I know, like you were saying, our family growing up, we were very musical, and my kids have gotten that too. We have 4, and the 3 older ones, they have their own little band. They sing, like Sunday night game night for a while it had to start with a concert with at least one song. At one point we made it up to like 3 songs, and it is the sweetest thing because they were singing worship songs, and just seeing that instilled in them at such a young age, because this started, I think our oldest was like 4, maybe 5 when he started doing this, and they set up their pretend instruments. They made a drum set out of their containers. We now have microphones and like the Guitar Hero guitar they're using, and it's just so sweet seeing them in our living room worshiping Jesus together.
Right. That's great. That's great. Are you planning on creating your own Jackson 5 with these kids and putting them out on tour?
I mean, we've talked to them about it. And
Good.
So we'll see. Yeah, but they love it. Our oldest, so my sister's a theater director and theater teacher, so she taught them all to bow. So anytime he is on stage, like he was getting an award at school, he took multiple bows, and it's so fun. So we've definitely brought the idea to them. They've been to like a Phil Wickham concert before, and so we'll see if God leads them that way.
Good. Brittany, what about you?
I mean, we just love music. Like,
Good.
And it's funny though, because so I have a 16-month-old now. But I have already taken her to like 3 concerts, and
Good.
and people, it's so funny though, because it's like we take her and we're thinking in the back of our head, like, oh my gosh, am I a bad parent? Trying to keep the headphones on her, but she's like, no, full send. I want to hear this music.
Good.
And it's so funny though, because, but then I get people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you do that, because, you're bringing her in to what your passion is and your love is. And it's just, I don't know, we love music because it connects, and how it helps get you through hard times, but then how it also correlates in the good times. And, like when my baby was born, she was in the NICU for a few days. And there was like one song that kept coming through, and it was Still Waters by, I'm trying to think. It's not Ann Wilson, but Still Waters. Anyway, it was really, really good. And she's talking about Psalms 93, I believe. And it helps. I feel like music just helps wash over you.
Sure.
And bring you peace and calm, and then connects. And then even like later, like a year down from the road and everything's hunky-dory, she's perfectly fine, we're happy and everything, we hear that and we can remember and we can say, God, you are still faithful, even in all of that.
That's beautiful.
I just looked it up. It's Still Waters by Leanna Crawford.
That's right. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned music and baby, when my so I asked you guys both your allegiances, where you're located, and you said Gig 'em Aggies. So I'm a big college football guy. I'm in North Alabama. I went to the University of Alabama, so I was a cheerleader in college at Alabama. So Alabama football is very important to me, and I'll say that understatedly. So moment,
and they're very good too.
Yeah, well, we try. We have been. We've had our down periods, but again, regardless, the moment my daughter was born in the hospital room, I had my iPod keyed up, and the moment she breathed, I hit the Alabama fight song. So the first thing because her mother's side were all the other college. So I wanted to get in there before anybody else did. And the first song my daughter ever heard was the Alabama fight song. So music is very important, obviously, to me. And I agree with you, Brittany. Like it's a way to connect and will always be there. Now, my kid is, sadly, it looks like she's actually going to go to the other school in the fall against her.
Which one is y'all's rivals again?
It's the Cow College called Auburn.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
no one likes the, no, they're
no.
Bad people. They lack moral fiber, as I like to say.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, my daughter, her family are predominantly all Auburn people, and I was the only person in my family that really went to Alabama. I had some cousins that did, but I was immediate family, and so I went to Alabama in late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. I was there for a while. And it was great. I thoroughly loved it. And, it was the best 5.5 years of undergrad of my life. But I had a great time in college. I was very fortunate. It was back when you could still kind of afford to go to college on your own. Like,
for sure.
I could work during the summers doing retail and still have, enough money to pay for summer school. Like I could afford to do it and then go back to college, and it didn't matter. And the reason I had to go to summer school because I spent too much time socializing during the regular semesters, so I had to make up certain classes that involved numbers and math. But yeah, and I had a great time and just kind of back to the music and connecting with my kid. And taking kids to concerts, and to church and the music. I used to, I moved from Los Angeles to North Alabama in 2020. My daughter and her mother and stepdad, they moved here in October, and then I got here in November. But before that, I would take my daughter to church in LA. We never really found one here, but it was great. We went to this a church. I grew up Episcopalian, so I went to an Episcopal church in Beverly Hills. I felt real hoity-toity going to an Episcopal church in Beverly Hills, but it was kind of cool. I enjoyed it. There was the guy that ran this church services at the time, or at least a group of services. He used to be a roadie for AC/DC. Like it was just the oddest thing. Yeah. I mean, it is the Episcopal church. So, and this, and it was fun. Like, and my daughter would love, like, there was guitar, like, and I am a tradition, at least I grew up a traditional Episcopalian, which is like Catholic light. Mm-hmm. Procession, hymns, kneel, lessons, communion, stand up, sit down, walk up there, get the bread and water, do the communion, the whole thing. Like that to me was church. But then all of a sudden there was this no, we're just going to have a band talk and read some scripture and that she liked it, but we never really found anything like that when we moved here. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So what would you say, like with the prayer song and everything, what would you say, like the most emotional reaction you've witnessed? Or like, what would be the backstory of someone giving their prayer song?
Sure. Well, and I've seen so many, it's really hard to pick out. There's been like great grandmas that get a song from the whole family and they bawl. There are, and the husbands and wives, there's so many of spouses that act like they forgot a wedding anniversary or a birthday and then sneak in a prayer song while they're getting a reaction. And the reaction is what gets you and y'all may be the same way I am. I will, if not flat out bawl, at least get choked up by reaction videos, especially if it's a veteran coming back or seeing their kid, the ones where the kids are at a sporting event and the dad takes off the catcher's mask or the mascot thing. And like, I'm by the kids balling, I'm ball those. And prayer song has that's basically what prayer song creates. Whether you capture it virally for posterity's sake to share with everyone, or it's just between you and one other person you love, that's what those songs create. And there are plenty others out there. There's parents that play songs for their kids. There are I've seen plenty of them out there where a mom just wants to tell her kid how much they love their daughter, and on the way to school they play the prayer song. It's $99, and it's it's not a free service. It's $99, but if you don't like it, you can send it back. There is a 30-day guarantee on the song, but nobody ever does, because everyone's very, very happy because you make it yourself. It's not like you just called someone, I'm gonna go, yeah, give me a song on my dad, and then hang up. You put in there what it is about you, your dad. When I made my song for my daughter, along with music, my daughter and I have a baseball connection. Doesn't care about football or basketball or anything else, but baseball. She's a diehard Dodger fan growing up in Los Angeles, so that means a lot to her. I think that will always be her real connection to LA, even if she never moves back there or gets back there much. That's sort of the connection. So in the song, I talked about all the baseball road trips we took to Chicago or to DC or just things like that. And my daughter she didn't ball. She's a teenager, you'll know how they are soon enough. Let me tell you. But the reaction that I got, that's all that mattered. And it meant the most to me. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what would you say like your favorite story is? Because do you just send people to the website, or do you get to kind of interact with them?
No, I don't need to interact with them. No, because it's all coming from their individual heart,
Gotcha.
It's them answering, just kind of filling out questions, putting in input like that. And again, the spirituality, if you want to say that a certain scripture or a book of the Bible or story of the Bible is something that matters between you and the person you're giving it to, you can include that. You can just talk about how they are a gift from God Almighty themselves. It can be however you want to frame how someone touches you emotionally and spiritually that you love enough to give a message to. And when I did it for my daughter, I didn't want to go too far back into our memories of her like really little. My daughter has flaming red hair. And my earliest real memories of her as a kid was she was out of the crib pretty early. Like she was out of a crib and on just to a single mattress pretty early. And then her mother was addicted to sleep. Her mother would sleep and needed sleep more than any human being I ever knew. Wanted to go to bed early and you could never wake her up. So my kid started to realize that. So when my kid busted in the room on Sunday mornings at 6 a.m., I would see this little red head of tuft of hair just over to me and start waking me up. So my daughter has always sort of been after me to get things done for her in like, daddy feed me, daddy do this. And it's a burden that, and I used air quotes there, burden that I'm willing to bear happily just because I'm that kind of a dad. I'm crazy about my kid. Please don't tell her. She'll use it against me.
Well, I have to say, like, after having a kid, and I joke with my husband that I'm like, oh, I love her more than you.
Yeah.
It's a different type of love,
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm like, she's still cute. She can keep me up all night, and then she'll, wake me up early, and then she just giggles or does whatever, like that flaming red hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it just connects.
That'll stick with you. That's going to stick with you.
I wonder if it's a redhead thing. My sister's a redhead, and she used to crawl in bed and open my dad's eyes and say, Daddy, are you awake?
Yeah, man, yeah. I was lucky. And I never had a son, and you guys will, Jessica, you can tell me, girls mature faster, or at least the process of them getting, at least I found out with my kid, she was toilet trained early, out of diapers early, out of bed early, like just certain things like that we didn't plan, or how can you plan, but like I guess I was under the, I always felt like she came out early, and I don't know if that's a girl thing or a redhead thing, but I always felt like my daughter was able to I don't want to say mature, but just develop. And I don't want to give my daughter too much credit that she's mature. I don't even give myself credit for that. Yeah. So just that whole parenting thing of trying to include those memories for a song, it's hard to go like. It's hard to go back too deep because you kind of want to live in the moment as you're writing the song, that you're filling out the song. And you can pick any genre you want to. There's, country, pop, R&B, all that's on there. So you can formulate a song however you want. if you'd like, guys, I'll make sure you get links to get your own songs, and you can do this for your families
Awesome.
and see how you want to. You can make it for your kids. You can also make it for your husbands. I mean, if you want to surprise them on a birthday or an anniversary, think about it, and I'll make sure you guys get taken care of.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We
Yeah.
just had our anniversary and
beautiful.
birthday coming up, 10-year
Beautiful.
next year. So we definitely
Okay.
got lots of
Okay.
opportunity.
Perfect.
Well, and I love how, like you said, that it's $99. But the thing is, though, is that is very inexpensive for actually getting them a gift that they're going to use for a long time. They can listen to it repeatedly. Like, I can't tell you how many expensive gifts that I don't use.
Right.
And then it's like they don't mean anything. And like for my grandma, she's one of the most influential people in my life. And she, which you'll actually really love this, being a music, I guess you could say a music nerd. One Christmas, she gave me an Elvis record, one of the first Love Me Tender Elvis records that her husband, my grandpa, bought her and had it framed and everything. Kid you not, to this day, my favorite gift I have ever gotten. And it's not just that, but it's not just, oh, hey, it's Elvis. Like, I love Elvis. Jessica and I, when we were in Vegas a few years ago, and we went and saw an Elvis show. Like, it was great.
Wow. That's fantastic.
But the fact is like that heart behind it. And I think that that's exactly what Prayer Song is.
You two need to have a gals weekend in Memphis and do Graceland. Have y'all done Graceland, Elvis's home?
No, I've not.
Okay. You can do Graceland in the afternoon. It's nothing that you need to overplan for. But Graceland is amazing for what it is. It's small. You'd be amazed at. So I was born in Mississippi, and I was born during an era where I feel like Elvis's reach and his touch for Mississippi still was strong. And I just felt like anybody grew up in Mississippi in that era, any era almost, but like you have some sort of Elvis conception or complex, just being from Mississippi, that if Elvis could if the small country boy from Tupelo could become the great king of rock and roll, well, maybe I can do something too. I think it permeates through Mississippi. And so I'm a huge Elvis fan. I mean, you just stepped right into my wheelhouse. I used to, so the football thing, Alabama used to play Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi every year, every other year. And Oxford's in North Mississippi. So I'd fly into Memphis, spend the night in Memphis, go to the games, spend the night in Memphis and leave. But every time I went, I would stop by the Graceland gift shop, which is across the street from Graceland. So I don't have to go pay to go into Graceland. And I would buy a stack. I don't think I even have a stack of Elvis Presley driver's licenses. Okay. This is the 90s. And I would buy a stack of Elvis. And anytime I was in New York or in LA and anybody, a doorman, an agent, anybody mentioned the word Elvis, I would reach in my wallet and pull out a driver's license and go, here. And I would give them an Elvis driver's license. Now they were these, they were these horrible looking fake things that were just someone put Tennessee picture and then the address of Graceland. Like there's not, but people got it. And I think that the Elvis's reach, Elvis spoke the word of God. Elvis truly did have a faith in Christ and his love and devotion for that was there. But he also was able to put out music that I don't want to say united a country, but it connected to a country. Everything he did from Hound Dog all the way to Burning Love before he passed, everything Elvis did reached people. And that's the power of Elvis. And it's also, once again, the power of music, And I was lucky. I mentioned y'all, I worked I'm after college, the extended time that I spent as an undergrad, moved to Los Angeles, and I got real lucky. I got a job in the mailroom at a big entertainment corporate media PR firm and started in the mailroom. And, it was my job just to make sure the mail was in everybody's boxes. And I got real lucky. Eventually I got a job in the music department and got to work with the Grammys, the American Music Awards, bands like U2, Motley Crue, country artists. I worked with Randy Travis, Leanne Womack, who did that song, The Dance, came out in the 90s. It's a great song. Y'all would love it. Just a whole bunch of different music things. And I got real lucky. I ended up working on U2 not necessarily directly with the band, but for a tour they were doing. It was their 97 or 98 tour called Pop Mart. I think it was 97. And I was in charge of a pre-party. There was a pre-party. They played in the Coliseum, this big 100,000 seat stadium where, they usually play football, but that was where they had this big concert. And so there was a pre-party in the big basketball arena next to the football arena. And there was this whole pre-party, and I was in charge of the red carpet and the media. So I had to make sure all the media were on the red carpet, and I had to make sure celebrities were walking down and doing interviews. Well, there were 3 groups of PR teams working on this tour. The band's PR people, the label's PR people, and the tour PR people, which were us. And anytime you get that many PR people together, stuff goes sideways, right? So the thing starts, and here comes Melissa Etheridge, famous musician. And she's walking the red carpet. Oh, good, they have someone to talk to. And someone from the label ran up, got her, and ran her past all the media. And nobody was doing media, so I start freaking out. So I run out to where the limos are, and there was actress Fran Drescher, who was big on a TV show called The Nanny. Anybody probably over the age of 40 would remember this show called The Nanny. Very popular show, ran in syndication forever. Wonderful woman. So she shows up, and I see her. She gets out of the limo. I go, Fran, I'm Alfred with the concert. There's a red carpet. Would you mind answering some questions from media? And she goes, well, I don't really know what to say. I go, all you got to do is tell them your favorite U2 album and you're happy to be here. She's like, oh, okay. So walked her down. She did all the media. And at the end of it, after we were due, she turns to me and goes, Alfred, thank you so much. If our paths ever cross again, please say hello. And I was like, wow. Like, even clients at the company that I work for never said anything that nice to me before. So I was like, well, that's fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there was an after party for the concert at this same arena. And I was doling out party passes to all my pals in LA. It was great. I had so many friends there. So as I'm waiting for it to start, there's the gates closed and U2 security's not letting anybody out. It was just kind of a big mess or whatever. And I'm standing there and I look, and standing next to me is Fran Drescher again. And what I really respected about her was she wasn't all dolled up in like a Versace gown or trying to be photographed. She was in a denim jacket. She had her hair down. She was there for a rock show. And I was like, me too. So I turned to Fran, like, Fran, are you okay? Everything all right? She goes, well, I'm just trying to get out to my limo because my friends and I were going to leave and go get dinner. And I was like, wait right here, or go get your friends, meet me right here. I'll go get your limo, bring them around and get them to you and get you out of here. And she was like, okay, thanks. So run around, get it in the limo, bring the limo around, get her in it. As she gets in, she goes, seriously, if her paths ever cross again, please say hello. I said, Fran, I'm Alfred at the Rogers and Cowan PR firm. If you ever need tickets to anything that we're working on, you just hit me up and I'll make sure we get you taken care of. That Wednesday at the office, I got a box of personalized Fran Drescher chocolates with a note from Fran Drescher that said, thank you so much for the ticket offer. I'll definitely hit you up, or something like that. Think peace, Fran Drescher. Floored. I went and got a box of every CD in the company and sent her a box of CDs. Like, thank you so much. I don't know. She probably doesn't remember. She probably is this gracious with all people that she comes across. And so anytime I can give a shout out to Fran Drescher, I will. Yeah. I have a good time doing music. Like, talking about music, I think a lot of the reason that I love music, or at least love working for Prayer Song and doing the things and reaching out to people about music, is just because it has done so much for me in my life, whether it's personally or even professionally. Like I said, I did music PR for 5.5 years, got real lucky going to Grammys, got to go do a lot of things. And throughout my life, like, I spent 25 years doing entertainment public relations in Los Angeles, worked on films and TV shows, but it all started with mostly pretty much music, So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, music is so special. I mean, like we were saying, how it connects you with things. But on a lighter note, I mean, we were talking about the Kid House Rock stuff. And I'm like, that's how I learned so many things. And even my husband, who's a teacher, he still uses them with his class.
Yes, they're called mnemonic devices, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's spelled like pneumonia, but like with a P N, like it's a mnemonic. I'm old enough to remember. I'm skewing an older demo for your show today. Let me just tell you. Make sure you skew this for the elderly set. There was a TV show once upon a time called Happy Days.
Yes,
And, okay,
I love it.
There was a whole episode where Potsy sang a song about all the bones in the body because he had to do it to get his medical exam. And I remember that. Like what you're talking about, Brittany, is the same thing. It's just figuring out what you got to learn, put it to music, and you might get there. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. It's so funny how it's like, and we, like during math and stuff, like, I kid you not, I have dyslexia when it comes to numbers. It's the dumbest thing ever. But because my mom was like, okay, Brittany, put it to a song, put it to a tune or whatever, and you'll remember.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
still have to multiply with the song, but it's fine.
Yep. Yeah.
So I want to do some rapid fire with you. So what would you say? Now, I know this is a really tough question.
I wasn't ready for this.
But what would you say your favorite song of all time is? So I'm going to break this up into genre. This is what I have to do for people. What would you say your favorite genre is, though?
Rock, guitar-oriented rock and roll. Being from Mississippi, it's rock or bluesy rock. Yeah. So the genre, guitar-oriented rock and roll, rock.
Okay, so out of that genre, what would you say top 3? We'll do that.
So I'm going to break it down probably by guitarists or at least guitar. So first is Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen. I'm a Van Halen. I got real lucky. Do you know anything about Van Halen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So they changed singers and switched from a guy named David Lee Roth to a guy named Sammy Hagar. I love Sammy. I'm a Sammy devotee. I ended up, when first started doing music PR, Sammy was one of the clients that I got to work for. And when Van Halen kicked Sammy out of the band, I was there in the office and had to deal with it because the woman that was Sammy's real publicist was in another country, so I had to deal with it. So Van Halen, and there's a Van Halen song called "Best of Both Worlds," and it was the one that I put a quote in my high school yearbook from.
I love it.
So that my favorite rock song would be that. You know, I do have an affinity for country. I'm very much an old country or classic country. But I'm a big Dwight Yoakam fan.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great. He plays around here every so often. It's funny. So my daughter does not like country music. And every time my daughter would take a shower and she would turn on the Bluetooth speaker in the bathroom, and her music would start playing. Well, I was still connected to it. So I always queued up Dwight Yoakam, and then she would just hear her scream from the shower. It was great.
Love that.
So yeah, classical, I mean, for country music, I mean, probably Dwight Yoakam. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, I don't know if you've seen the reel that's been going on with the World Cup going on and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But apparently one of the games in Texas, they were literally, the entire stadium was singing Country Road by John Denver.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's huge now. Yes.
And I'm like, and I grew up with listening to John Denver. Like we are from West Texas. My mom listened to it, road trip music. And I just love how it like literally connected thousands of people. And, whether you like country or not, like everybody loves John Denver.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah. So one of my favorite bands currently is a rock band called Greta Van Fleet. They everyone likes to badmouth them, say they're a Zeppelin ripoff. And no, they make music that you will relate to Zeppelin, but they're not. But they said one of their biggest influences, because they were force-fed music by their dad.
Right.
Who gave them classic album rock of the 70s. And one of the artists that they cite that they really influenced them is John Denver. So John Denver, people don't give him enough credit. Truly.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. So what would you say, like a song that reminds you of your childhood?
I mean, we excluding the whole Schoolhouse Rock things and all that. A song from my, honestly, I'll tell you, it's probably something from the soundtrack of Grease,
Oh,
when
yes.
I think I was 10 or 11 or 9 when that came out, or 8. Like Grease was huge when it came out. I think I saw it 5 times as a kid. And my sister had the soundtrack, and yeah, the soundtrack to Grease was big. So probably something from Grease Lightning, like my childhood.
Yes.
To me, childhood is like elementary school.
For sure.
Like that to me is childhood, because I'm not really remembering too much musically before 5. But during the era of that, yeah, yeah, probably Grease. And it's funny, like one of the first albums I ever bought. Well, I'll put it so about music. I love going to concerts, and I will take my kid to concerts. I take my kid to see Weird Al if Weird Al ever comes around here. And I recommend truly, if Weird Al is ever near you guys and you can make it to see Weird Al, it's a fun concert. He does costume changes. There's a lot going on. It is a fun show, and the whole family can go. So I've connected my daughter with Weird Al. That's one of the things that I connected with in his songs. And he was around when I was a kid. Yeah, Weird Al is something that I really connected with my daughter with. So I got to go on a deep dive since you brought this up, but musically. So my daughter we started her acting and modeling in LA, commercial acting, like around 2. She got real lucky. She had a Target print campaign that paid, and then she did TV. Like she ended up doing commercial and stuff. So because I had lived in LA longer than her mom, and also I could drive a car, I ended up taking Stella to all these auditions all the time. And the car I was in was this junky rental, and all it had was a tape deck. And the only tape that I had was a Weird Al tape. And if you may not know this, Weird Al is a very accomplished accordion player. And polka, being, predominantly accordion music, he does a polka medley of current hits, or hits whenever the album's released, and it's just a whole bunch of songs that oompa oompa oompa, and it's with the accordion. If your kid's in the back seat in any mood and you play a polka medley, your kid's going to be happy, and all you got to do is bounce up and down to it. Your kid changes. So my daughter and I got to spend a lot of time trapped in a car together with me forcing Weird Al on her, and it stuck. And I think it gave my kid a slight sense of humor, appreciation for fun music, and now if I want to go see a Weird Al concert, she'll go.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome.
I know, we need to try that in the car when the kids are getting fussy.
Dude, it's polka. If you don't want to do Weird Al because any lyrics may or may not be appropriate for your kids, that's your call. You can still find non-influenced polka that just find a polka medley, and it's bouncy. That's kids want that vertical up and down bounce feeling, and there you go. Yeah,
that's so fun. I love that. So what would you say one word you hope people feel after hearing a prayer song?
Loved, because someone gave it to them. It's a gift from someone. It's the Hallmark card that gives more than just 2 sentences, and I promise you that if you don't feel that, you'll get your money back. That's what it is. That's what someone should feel, is love.
Well, and I'm pretty sure if they don't like it, it's not y'all, it's actually they didn't put it up.
Yeah, the quality's good. The quality of the songs, the production tools they use to make the music is amazing. It really is. Other songs that they've done for different things they've played, and I'm always amazed about how the high quality of the music they make is. So no one's ever going to be disappointed in the song. No one will. Yeah.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. That's awesome. Well, Jessica, do you have anything?
I think so. One thing I kept thinking of when we were talking about like music and just our faith is, so this week we actually had VBS, Vacation Bible School. And that's why I'm still in my pink shirt. But seeing all those kids like just run up to the front, worshiping, raising their hands, praising God. And today, like we were talking about how God is forever, and when we believe in him and eternity, and we have eternity in him, and we get to praise him forever. And that's been sticking with me because it's so true. And it's really one of the best things ever, really.
Amen. It is.
Yep. Well, and I mean, music, and I think like the Psalms are like one of my absolute favorite books of the Bible to read. And yet they're actually songs. Like they were singing them. They were singing them on their way to the temple. They were singing them on the way down. And, and it's like David poured his heart out to God, and, we can pour our heart out to God through music too. And I just believe that like God created music. And I know some people are like, no music, just very like strict. And I'm like, no, God created that so we can connect with him.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. I mean, that's music. It's a joyful noise. Yeah.
Exactly. And nothing wrong with the Church of Christ or anything, but how they don't use instruments. I was like, well, David used a harp. Of course, this is funny though, because I was raised Baptist.
Okay.
And Baptists are very much like, don't drink, don't dance. And I would always just tell them, I was like, well, David danced before the ark naked. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. One of the first musical things I did was at a church, and it was about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and it was called Cool in the Furnace. And it was like a church musical about them being thrown in the furnace and dancing in the fire. And like, I think you're right. Like there's obviously stuff in our Bible. I'm no scholar. I think that's Old Testament. But like still, if there was dancing in the Old Testament under the eyes of God, I don't see why. I'm with you there, Brittany. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between dancing for God and other types
and
of
that kind of dancing. We don't want that. No, of course.
Dancing and worshiping towarher God. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alfred, is there anything that you would like to leave our listeners with?
Other than being grateful and thanking them for their listening to me this long about me. I feel I'm interesting, but really I hope what they get out of this was at least prayersong.com being something they can look into if they want to give a gift that is something special to someone that is special to them. I doubt you'll find anything that's going to touch someone else more than a song like this. So yeah. For
sure. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on. We have thoroughly enjoyed this, and I definitely think that you're very interesting, very full of, I feel like we could be talking for hours, and I'm already thinking of a few people that I'm sending this episode to.
I appreciate this, y'all. Brittany, Jessica, thank y'all.
Yeah, we'll drop the link in our show notes too. That way people can click and head straight there as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and thank y'all so much for listening. And we would love to connect with you on social media, and we will also have Alfred's social media in the show notes so you can connect with him. And also the prayer song. So you can actually create your own song and a gift that is very, very meaningful and will last a lifetime. Seriously.
Sure. Thank you.
And so thank y'all so much again, and we will talk with y'all next time.
We want to leave you all with one last thought from Psalm 100, verse 1 and 2. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.